Hello and welcome back to Bible Wits Bible Corner. Today we're going to go start in Joshua chapter 5. I'm going to read verses 1 through 5, starting with the English Standard Version. As soon as all the kings of the Amorites who were beyond the Jordan to the west, and all the kings of the Canaanites who were by the sea heard that the Lord had dried up the waters of the Jordan for the people of Israel until they had crossed over, their hearts melted, and there was no longer any spirit in them because of the people of Israel. At that time, the Lord said to Joshua, "Make flint knives and circumcise the sons of Israel a second time." So Joshua made flint knives and circumcised the sons of Israel at Gibeath-haaraloth, and I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong. And this is the reason why Joshua circumcised them. All of the males of the people who came out of Egypt, all of the men of war, had died in the wilderness on the way after they had come out of Egypt. Though all the people who came out had been circumcised, yet all the people who were born on the way in the wilderness after they had come out of Egypt had not been circumcised. All right, New Century Version. All the kings of the Amorites west of the Jordan and the Canaanite kings living in the Mediterranean Sea, or by the Mediterranean Sea, heard that the Lord dried up the Jordan River until the Israelites had crossed it. After that, they were scared and too afraid to face the Israelites. At that time, the Lord said to Joshua, make knives from flint stones and circumcise the Israelites." So Joshua made knives from flint stones and circumcised the Israelites at Gibeath-haaraloth. This is why Joshua circumcised the men. After the Israelites left Egypt, all of the men old enough to serve in the army died in the desert on the way out of Egypt. The men who had come out of Egypt had been circumcised, but none of those who were born in the desert on the trip from Egypt had been circumcised. Okay, so two main things I want to talk about with this one. The first one kind of goes to a point that I made a while back of poor chapter breaks. So we have the very first verse in chapter 5 talking about kings being terrified after hearing that the Jordan River had been dried up so all of Israel could cross. To think of it, a river that these people had probably never seen even become dry, to all of a sudden you got water right here, but it's dry right here. It would be a terrifying thing. It would be something that would put fear in the heart. And it even goes as far as not just putting fear in the heart, but so much fear that they don't even want to face the Israelites. So, quick application of that for today is the amount of faith we have in God. When we walk down the streets, when we go to work, whatever we do people know that we are Christians? Is there something about our appearance, and I'm not talking clothing, I'm talking just, is there something about us that tells people, hey, that person right there, they are a Christian? So they'll either stay away from you or they'll want to approach you and talk about your faith. So there's that. Now, the other thing, the circumcision. This is going back to a covenant that God had made. I believe it was with Abraham at first. If I am wrong, please correct me in the comments. It was part of a deal that God had made, a covenant God had made with Abraham to show that he will be the father of many nations. So, now the older generation, they had all died as God said they would because they disobeyed. Now this younger generation, none of them had been. So, they all had to have this done to be a part of that continual covenant that God had made with Abraham. The covenant that we make today is through baptism, a spiritual circumcision, if you will. So when we are baptized, I've said this before, we are buried with Christ. We come up, all of our sins are washed away. It is a spiritual circumcision that we have today as far as that covenant goes. So I hope you find encouragement in this, and I hope you have a wonderful, God-centered day. Bye.